I've been writing online now for about a year and a half. I remember when I first started, I was very insecure. And I really wanted my writing to resonate with people. And I saw people who were miles ahead of me telling everyone about what they needed to do to see the success they had gotten. So I frantically copied everything that they were doing and tried my best to replicate their success and didn't really see any success. I did that for about a year. And when I look back at a lot of my writing back then, it was pretty terrible. And I think when you start anything, it's probably going to be bad, and that's okay. But as I have developed and matured more as a writer, as a content creator, I've noticed that there's two elements required for good, compelling writing. And that is a thesis. You need to know what is the point, what is the argument, what are you trying to say in this piece? And the other, I think, is that you need a motive. There needs to be some sort of reason about why this thing that you're creating actually matters. And so when I look back at a lot of the content that I used to create, I feel like it really lacked a soul. It really lacked a motive. And I think that any writing that misses that fundamental step, that's just very performative, very, I need to put out content, I need to do things, is always going to fall flat because anyone can say anything and make any argument. It's pretty easy. AI has lowered the barrier for entry there pretty substantially, but what makes good writing isn't just the things that you say, but it's also why you care about what you say. And so that's what I've been leaning into more recently is learning how to talk about the things that I care about and to channel that caring that I have in a way that's compelling and interesting to other people. And so this goes against a lot of advice that I see online where it's very reader focused, basically, where you basically view your reader like they're a peg and you want to collect as many of these readers as possible. So you try and change your writing, the shape of your writing to fit these reader pegs, right? I just think that this is a backwards way to approach it. I totally understand. I was craving more readers, more validation, all these things, right? But the truth of it is that if you focus solely on trying to figure out what does my reader want to see, what do they want to read, it's probably going to fall flat for two reasons. One, besides the generalities, you actually have no idea what your audience cares about. Besides things like, I want to be happier and I want to avoid pain, you don't really know what's actually really driving your audience 9 times out of 10. The other, and actually more important part of this as well, is that your audience often doesn't actually know what they're looking for. Your audience often is just online to scroll. They're not there for a particular purpose. And so what your content needs to do is it needs to give your reader a reason to care because they don't know what they're looking for. So how can you? So how do you do that? And I think that for me, the change has been that instead of trying to shift the shape of my writing and the things that I do, it's become a lot more of how can I show up in the most um, authentic, interesting, funny, exciting, natural shape of who I am, what I do, and how I like to express myself. I used to think that if I showed up in this way, no one would care about what I would be writing about. But actually, the opposite is true. Because if you're writing for everyone and trying to be everything for everyone, you're actually no one to everyone because no one cares. Because you're not able to put enough specificity, enough interest, enough emotional weight into what you do. And so no one cares. Meanwhile, if you shape that writing style, the way that you show up, what you're actually doing is you're pre-filtering for the exact right kinds of people that would want to read your stuff. And the thing is, you only need 0.00001% of people to give a damn about what you write to make a good living, to be a successful content creator, especially if you're focusing more on the quality of the engagements rather than the quantity. And so the big thing to keep in mind with this is that most people treat their social media like you have been given a mic in front of a big stadium and you have to make your case as to why people should care. And it's actually not the case. You are not speaking to a large audience of people. You don't have the world in front of you paying attention to what you write because no one cares. What it actually is you're having a series of interactions with individual people. You're saying, "Hey, I have bled, I have sweat, I have created this thing. What do you think about this?" Now, some people are going to be like, "It's not for me. I don't care." Great. They don't need to. But what these are is these are individual conversations with people. You can have 10,000 followers. You don't have an audience of 10,000. You have 10,000 individuals who follow you for what you're creating. And so for me, what this has meant is that this journey has taken me a lot more inwards. It's really made me think about how can I show up in a way that's authentic to me and express and do things in a way that I enjoy. And as I've done this, what I've actually found is that I'm able to produce my best and most original work because it's more of me and less of everything else and everyone else for that matter. And so I guess the big takeaway for me is I need to show up as me rather than who I think I need to be online. And when I show up with more of that rawness, more of that unpolished humanness, it actually attracts the kind of people that I would want to create things for, that I can genuinely help. And that's a big part of why I do what I do. And so that's what I've been trying to do with my writing. And I hope this can be helpful for you as well to really think about not just what am I writing, but why does that matter? And not just why does it matter, but why does it matter to you specifically? Why did you choose over all the other things you could do today, whether that be, watching YouTube videos or playing video games or anything else you could be doing? Why would you sit down and bang out 10,000 words on your laptop about a topic that you care about? That's what I'm interested in. And I think that as more of this AI slop, as more of this generic, samey, boring content starts flooding our social platforms, we're going to see that even more. People are going to really crave the intimacy of something that you created that gives us an insight, a window into your soul. And so I'm trying to do this more with my writing. I feel like it has changed a lot. It's been very, very cool for me to see. So I guess we'll see where that change takes me.